But Marvin, like honestly, I was just imitating you. Like Anna, please confirm or deny. He was actually doing that himself.
I know, he
like,
was
you
like
were like, yeah,
the
guy
rubber, he was
only
contorting.
How's
and
that?
then he went-
Are you
No,
guys
because you like
are you guys not flexible?
you raise your elbow.
You're like stick bugs. You walk in and you're like.
Sure, we contort ourselves just to tie our shoes. We turn like 360 our
like-
bodies, and then we like do the shoe.
I'm gonna tie my shoes.
Hello guys, we're here with Marvin, Miguel, and me, Anna. We're the Hokagis, and today we're here just to talk and have fun. This is the fun podcast, if you want to call it that. And we just want you to join us in this conversation. Who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows what we're gonna talk about?
I just feel like nights have been a little crazy lately because we've had like all sorts of emergencies the whole week. But last night, we went to see one of my friends for like a dinner, a little gathering. We come home, we choose the path that we're gonna take with public transports, and so we take a tram, we take a subway, and finally we take a bus. The problem is that this bus doesn't leave us, because we live on a hill, it doesn't leave us up, it leaves us down. So at 1 a.m, you're tired and you're like, oh, I don't want to walk, I don't want to, but it is what it is. There's no other bus. It's not much of a walk, it's just that it's kind of steep, so you need to kind of climb up. And when you're tired and you've just eaten, you don't really want to do it. So we go home, we get inside the building, an old building, we open the door, everything's fine. Get settled, finally home, it's warm. And from the entrance, we drop our shoes, we drop our keys, and we start hearing a noise from the kitchen. And I'm like,
from your place,
yeah,
Yeah.
from our
like
place.
in your place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically the entrance and the kitchen are right in front of each other. It's one long corridor interjected by the living room. So we hear a noise, and it's a little puck noise, like a, and it keeps repeating, and it's not loud, but it's loud enough so we can hear it. And I'm like, what is that? Oh, did we leave the faucet on? Is the gas tank acting up? Is something the neighbor is doing? Is he having a gathering, a party? I don't know what's happening. So I tell Anna, don't worry, like get yourself like comfortable, we're home, I'm gonna check it out. So I advance through the living room and to the kitchen. And the moment I set foot in the kitchen, there's a shadow that flies by in front of me. And immediately my body tensed up, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Oh my god, what is that?
And I go back, I turn to Anna, and I'm like, there's something in the kitchen. And Anna is like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So I'm like, wait, let me see. So I go to see, and there is something inside the kitchen that is bumping against the ceiling. I'm thinking,
Against the ceiling.
the ceiling, yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what is that? What is this?
Oh my god, what is that?
Because I'm like, please make it not be a rat, please make it not be a roach, and please make it not be a human. Because I'm like, are we getting burglared? Like, what's happening? And so I go closer in the kitchen, and I realize that what's stuck in my kitchen is a bat.
Oh.
And I
wow,
start
okay.
freaking out, and Anna is like, come here, let's lock ourselves in the bedroom. So she locks the door, and I'm like, I'm gonna catch it and I'm gonna throw it out the window. And Anna's like, no, you're gonna catch rabies, don't touch it, don't
Yeah,
like go
was
get
like,
closer.
dude, you're gonna get bit, you're gonna get rabies. Like, stop getting close.
That's true.
And
That's
so
true.
I grab a blanket, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait for it not to move, I'm gonna grab it in the blanket and then just throw it out. The problem is that the metal blinds from the kitchen were closed, so I needed to open the window, unlock the blinds, open them, and then find a way to grab the bat and throw it away, because we have bug nets on the living room and the bedroom, so it was not really possible. So I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? So I go back in the in the bedroom. I put myself a hat, a hoodie, ski gloves to make sure that I don't touch anything. And so I get into the kitchen, and the thing keeps like flying super fast with like big wings, because the wings were like that big, the size of my hands, and the body was like this big. It wasn't a big bat, but it was like a bat. So I finally open the window, the blinds are unlocked, and I go quickly like, okay. And what happens? The bat flies in the living room. Goes right above my head into the living room and starts like bumping into the right here in this room on the ceiling, being like going around, and I'm like, no. Then I open the window from the living room, I rip off the bug net, and finally I see the bat on the floor, not moving.
You ripped it off? Like literally? You don't have a way to open
The thing
it?
is that the bug net is stuck with Velcro, so it's like stuck, so you can really pull it and it's fine. So I pulled it like really quickly, hoping not to rip it up. I saw the bat just lying on the floor. With my ski gloves, I just like grabbed it, and I like threw it out the window, closed everything.
Like a baseball.
Like,
Boom!
GOOSE'S.
And by the time you let it go, you already had rabies. Like, I'm just kidding. I'm just
then I
kidding.
closed the window. No, I had like extra big gloves, you know, the ski gloves that are like super reinforced.
Yes.
The one thing that I'm scared of is that I put too much pressure and I killed the bat, and I hope I didn't, because it really wasn't the point. I really tried to be careful, so I think she's fine, but you never know. But I yeeted her like a baseball bat through the window. Then I closed everything, and I'm like, how did a bat get inside the apartment, and how long was it that she was in our kitchen? Because we were not there. So I looked around, tried to find a hole, tried to find anything. My only bet is the vents from the kitchen, because the vents are like a little big and there was a lot of wind outside. So maybe the bat found a place to hide from the wind and just like crawled inside. It was really small, so I'm like, maybe. But finding a bat on a Friday night at like 1 a.m. was really not the plan for us. Really, like the sound, I could imagine anything, but not a bat. A lot of people are probably gonna be like, oh, it's fine, it's not a spider, it's not a snake. Thank God it's not either of those things. But no, I was not prepared for that. Honestly, I
mean, I thought it was a bug, which would be worse for me to find out
I
that
think
it was
a
like a
bat-
big bug.
A bat is worse. Like a bat can bite you, like, right? And you can get rabies.
You can. The thing
Or-
is that for me, if I look at a bat, it's okay. But if I look at a bug,
but what kind of bug?
I mean, what kind
What
of bug?
does that mean?
If it was a cockroach,
Yeah, cockroach
Oh
would be
yeah,
gross.
yeah.
I would have
Yeah,
died.
yeah.
I would have
Because
like.
the thing is that the bats here at least are really small, and usually they don't carry out diseases as much as other
They're
countries.
They're really cute.
They
bats,
are.
bats in France. Really?
They are cute because they're little mice with wings. The problem is that when she was on the floor, she was cute and a little ginger, and you were like, oh. And then she pulled her wings, and it's like it goes from oh to ah.
Bro, I think you two are mentally ill or something. I have never heard someone say, "Oh, it looks cute like a bat." Like we were
Bats
so
are cute. Like
It's like a little mouse. You don't want to have
Yeah.
them in your house, but when you look at its little face, it's kind of cute.
yeah.
And here the bat was just like trying to get out, and I think the bat was more scared than I was.
It's most like it was a little.
But
Yeah,
it was
most
very little. Like generally the body was like that big. Like that big, but the wings were so big, they were like the size of my hand, and I'm like, oh no, it's a big black thing like flying around. I'm like, no. And I knew I wasn't gonna catch rabies. Like Anna was more scared than me when it comes to this, but I was scared, period. I was not scared about the rabies. I was
Yeah.
scared that there was a fucking bat in my house.
And how did you grab it again? Like, because you said it went into the living room and started flying in circles, right?
The thing is that at some point in the kitchen, I saw her dipping on the floor and staying still on the floor. So I tried to grab it with the blanket, but the window was not open. So I waited for the bat to stop flying. And at some point, she stayed on the floor for like a couple seconds. And that's where I could grab her. Because I did not grab the bat from midair. I wouldn't have tried it. I just waited for it to be still. Then I swiftly like grabbed and then yeet out the window.
And she actually stood still in the like on the floor.
Yeah, for like a couple
bit.
seconds. I saw the bat like close to the wall on the floor, and I already had my gloves and my ski outfit. I was ready to go, and I just bounced, grabbed, and I didn't wait because I already opened the window, and I just closed the window. I was like, over with. That's done. But I'm like, yeah, how it must have been like hours that she was in the kitchen. So I don't know what happened.
Maybe, or she had just, who knows? Honestly, who knows?
Could you sleep well like yesterday after that?
Yeah, I slept like a log. But
yeah.
But yeah, I'm wondering like what if it happens again, because I used to live down the same street as we're living right now. And on the other apartment, I knew there were bats around at night, but usually what they do is that they go behind your blinds from the outside. So you need to be careful when you open and close your blinds at night that there's not a bat behind. But usually they're scaredy, so when they feel something, they just fly away. But I never had a bat inside my own house. That was kind of traumatic. So that was the highlight of the night.
I would have been like traumatized for life. Like you just made me recall like when I was a kid, we lived in a house that had, it's called an attic, right? Like and it was like a wooden attic. So I think for like people here said, oh, if it's like a like wooden attic, there can be like little holes and bats can get in. And I recall in that house that we lived, there were a few instances where like they got in, they snuck in, and it was like a huge drama. Like we would lock ourselves in the room for a bit. But I have never dealt with that like myself as you have it. I was a kid back then, but you have to actually throw it.
I mean, you don't really have a choice, because in the middle of the night, Anna was telling me, call an exterminator, call someone, I don't want you to have rabies. And I was like, me thinking very practically, and I'm like, it's 1 a.m. on a Friday night, you really think someone's gonna show up? And on top of that, it's gonna cost us hundreds and hundreds and hundreds for someone to come. So I'm like, for a little bat, I would feel really bad blowing my savings on an exterminator for like a little bat. So I'm like, I'm gonna take care of it. I'm scared, but I don't have a choice. It's either being scared for 2 seconds with the bat, or being scared for a couple of months because I don't have money anymore. So it's like the financial scare of being an adult was more scarier than a bat.
It's scarier than death. It's
Capitalism was scarier than death.
Capitalism or a bat, you choose.
Yeah.
You choose.
That's basically or capitalism or rabies. That's basically the state of the world right now. Like we just summarized it for everyone on the internet.
That's basically the story of Batman. He chose both.
Yeah, bro, that's actually true. Like Gotham City, like that's literally the story. He chose both. That's true, because he's rich. Actually, I just thought probably if you call the what's it, animal security, what's it called?
Like pest control?
Pest control.
Pest control. Going off of your reactions, probably they would have said something like, "Oh, a bat? Oh, that's so nice."
They would have been like,
just
"Oh,
pet
a bat."
it. Just pet it. Just pet it. It's one. Nothing will happen or something.
They will be like, "Oh, but she's cute."
No. They would have come.
Take a picture.
Just grabbed it and then be like $500.
Exactly. That's how it happens. They don't do anything. And on top of this, because pest control, I do have another story with it. My mom used to work somewhere, and a big rat came inside the place, and like huge, like big like that. And the rat would like go around, And at some point, my mom's coworker was telling her, no, we need to call someone. So they called pest control. The dude arrived and he was like, I'm not touching that. And they were like, what do you mean you're not touching that? That's your job. And he was like, no, I only carry like dead bodies, but I don't touch your live shit. It's like, then who's gonna do it?
Yeah, who's gonna do it?
So my mom started beating the rat with a broom, and then the dude grabbed the body and like pulled it out.
Like, imagine how sadistic that is. Like, they come to your house and they're like, you have to kill it. Like,
Yeah,
I need to see blood. Otherwise, I'm not touching that. Like,
It's like
what?
a test, you know. They look at you and they're like, kill it. Go ahead, kill it in front of
Yeah,
me.
and you're like,
I want to see it.
Good, Anakin, good. Kill him. Kill him now.
That's so psychopathic. Like, kill it right now. You can do it.
Do it.
Do it.
A big rat is in your house and it's like, go ahead, kill it. I know you can do it. And you're like, with a knife in your hand, you're like, no, I don't want to do it.
Bro, you actually have a psychopath's voice, Marvin. Like, do it again. Can you
Do
say
it.
it again?
like,
Yeah.
Go ahead, kill it right now. No, I don't want to do it. But basically, the point is pest control, useless. And if I had called them, like Anna would say, he would have grabbed it, be like, that's gonna be $500. And I take credit cards, check, and deposit.
pest control from France. I'm not even surprised that they're like, no. Like,
Yeah.
you do it.
Workers do that here. They just show up and they're like, no, I don't want to do that.
You deal with that.
No. They get the choice.
And
Like,
then
you're
they charge you.
like, yeah, you bring someone to mow your lawn and they're like, no, the lawn's
Just
too
for
big.
visiting.
Yeah.
But they do.
still charge.
They do. The medical center that we went to, they didn't do anything, and
Right.
they still took our social security, and they were like, "That's gonna be $8." It's like, what do you mean?
And I was like, bro, you didn't do anything.
didn't do anything.
You just recommended me to someone else.
We waited an hour and a half in a waiting room, and then the person was like, "Cannot do anything. Go back to reception." And then they were like, $8 for what? What do you mean for like bothering you? Like, you bring someone to mow your lawn and the person's like, the lawn is too big. No, we cannot. No, don't want
But
to.
you already made me sweat, so like I walked here,
it's gonna be
so you might as
$200.
well write me a check. Yeah, you might as well write me a check. So
I also take
um,
life insurance.
But that's like the jokes that are on like Instagram, TikTok, whatever. That is like how waiters here are like super mean. Which, granted, I've never encountered a waiter that is like super mean, but they're normal. They're like, you know, you tell them like, oh, I want this, and they're like, sure, whatever, and then they just take your order. But it is true that in the US it's really funny because you're like, oh, I want the cheeseburger, and they're like, wonderful, and what do you want with
Restaurants
that?
or the US is like dinner and a show. The waiter is like, how is the food? Is everything okay? They refill your drink. They come back to check on you. They're like, oh, you want the cheeseburger? Amazing,
It's
good
amazing
choice. And here
choice.
in France, the waiters go to your table and they're like, okay, so what's it gonna be? And you're like, a cheeseburger. Mm-hmm. And they don't even say, and you, they look at you and they do the little nod. They're like, pasta? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
they
they bring
just
it to
hum.
the kitchen.
Like
They
Yeah.
hum. They
they're
hum.
just humming the whole time.
Because
Mhm,
there's also
mhm.
no tipping culture, so I think they don't feel
they're
obligated
like-
to do anything. They're like, we get paid minimum wage, we get paid good, we don't need to overdo it for tips because nobody tips here. So you don't have the show aspect to the restaurant where
Yeah.
they're overly doing it, which, to be honest, as a European person, does bother me. Because one time in a restaurant in the US, we were eating. I had my mouth full of stuff and I was just eating, enjoying my food.
Right.
And I forgot that we were in the United States. So the waitress came over to our table and she was like, is everything good? Do you enjoy your food? Me being a polite person with cheeks like a hamster, I don't want to talk. And I'm just like, But she looks at me waiting for an answer. So I'm like, either I chew real fast and I swallow or I answer. So I put the food like at the back of my cheeks and I'm like, we're really good.
She's like the same as the pest control guy. Like, do it, kill it. She would be like, answer me right now.
Chew,
I'll
swallow
wait.
right now.
Gather round her,
So I answered her with my mouth full, and she's like, "Oh, it seems like you're busy. I'll be back a little bit later."
Have you seen these memes where they would like pour you more water every like 5 minutes in a restaurant, and it's like, bro, like my cup is full, like I don't need more, and they would be like, do you need more water? And at some point they start spilling over, and the whole restaurant is flooded. Like they are like that
But in the US, it is like that. Like I remember we were in like a restaurant. I think it was maybe Chili's.
It was Chili's. I remember,
And
because they served you again and again.
Yeah, because I was like, I got like a Sprite, and Marvin had like a Coke, and somehow the drinks kept refilling to the point where I was like, oh my god, don't refill it anymore because I cannot drink more. My body cannot.
We ordered so much food that we were too full.
And
I swear to God that we turned our heads. And the thing is that they serve it in like beer glasses, so it's like huge.
It's huge.
So I turned around to watch the TV because there was a football game. I turned and there was a whole Dr. Pepper on my table.
Right.
I did not see the woman swapping it out because I think because there were very little customers in the restaurant, I think she was scouting out our table. And anytime, because I cannot leave food unfinished. It's like a thing.
It's a problem.
I have to finish it. I blame my parents. It's like a problem. They were like, finish your food, finish your plate. So and I didn't want to drink anymore. I was full. We had too much to eat. We made a mistake. We ordered too much. So I finished my drink and I'm like, I'm done with the drink. I'm not touching it again. I turn around, look at the football, turn back. There's a whole new beer glass full of Dr. Pepper. And I'm like, I'm not going to drink that. No.
Exactly. It's like, dude, I cannot drink that.
At that point, you even question if you have like actually hydrated, and like
exactly,
like they gaslight you so much. It's like, bro, like I feel full. Like why is this still like it should be empty? And you're like, keep drinking.
But restaurants in the US, they do that to you. I order half and half, which, full disclosure, disgusting. I'm sorry if I offend anyone that likes half and half. It's like half sweet tea, half lemonade, and they serve you that thing, and I was like, how can it be bad? Peach and lemon, pretty good. The main ingredient is sugar, first of all. And they serve me that drink, and I'm like, yeah, it's too sweet for me. I'm not really a fan. Like, I'm fine with one drink. And we were at Cracker Barrel, the country restaurant that I personally love. Shout out to Cracker Barrel if you want to sponsor us. Just throwing that out there. I was eating my food. The food was delicious. And I had my drink, and I had a hard time drinking it. I was like, Finish my drink. I'm like, I'm happy. Everything's clean, empty. And I see the person being like a ninja. And I have a new one. And I'm like, I don't want to drink that stuff no more. And I had to call the waitress and be like, I don't want
it anymore. Please stop.
Please.
At some point, like if you're your glass is already full, they would be like, open your mouth right now.
They would force feed
they'll
you,
pour it on your mouth,
a tube like this, and be like,
they'll start torturing you, like
they waterboard
you with half and half. You like that, don't you? No.
This is what you ordered.
This is what you ordered.
Don't say now that you don't like it. You ordered it. You ordered this.
You make me do it. It's like force feed you, and they're like, it's your fault. I don't want to do this.
See, that's the nice thing about Ecuador is like you have the range US system, and then there is the French one that is like they could not care less. They don't even bring you the water unless you ask.
Yeah.
Many times they don't bring you water. And in Ecuador, it's like they're middle ground. They're like, they take your order and they're like, okay. And then if you ask them something, they're nice or you can talk to them. But it's like, they're never like, oh my god, wonderful, this is so great.
No, but it's true that French waiters, you feel like you bother them every time you call them for something. Because you have the mean customers that was like, boy, and it's like unbearable.
Yeah, that's
but you have the normal customers like us, we're just sitting at a table and I'm feeling bad like calling a waiter and I'm just like, hey, like, can I like have some water please? because I'm like, I could be like,
Pour it on your
I could be like dying of thirst, like the worm in SpongeBob, like on my seat. Like,
Oh, yeah.
And then the waiter would show up, and I'll be like, I'm sorry. I was like, can I get like something to hydrate
And
myself?
the water.
And they give you one little glass, be like, here, drink it. It's toilet water.
And they won't leave. They won't leave the table until you actually finish it. Like, oh my god, this is wow. I just thought about something else. While you drink it, they'll start refilling it at the same time. So you're like,
Like, you know the fountain that keeps refilling itself?
Yeah,
It's like a meal, and you're just like, and it never ends.
it never ends. So you're like, what the?
You have the hand of the waiter like right underneath the glass, like holding it up. You're trying to put it down, you can't.
That's literally like the chillest experience in the US. It's like you will
Bro.
never finish a drink.
I have a good story regarding like I guess servers at restaurants. It happened like 2 weeks ago, but I also wanted to say something about the whole, you know, like the restaurants in the US being a joke. Have you seen this video of this girl, I think from Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
No Chick-fil-A sauce.
No chick-fil-a.
Yeah, have you seen that? I'm like, bro, what's wrong with the US? Like and she's
She's
like,
like,
She has the eyes that are like, no Chick-fil-A sauce.
yeah. Can you please show it, Anna, so that we watch it together? I don't.
Sure.
do you know the
I haven't-
name? It must be. It
Just
must
write
be.
no Chick-fil-A sauce.
No Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I saw so many people doing it. Like that video, they made a doll out of that girl. They made like drawings,
Really?
animations. She's everywhere.
No Chick-fil-A sauce? No Chick-fil-A sauce? No Chick-fil-A sauce?
She's
And I keep
everywhere.
sharing it to Anna because I find it the most hilarious thing. Apparently that girl is like a real person and she doesn't look crazy like this.
She's like
It's
a
like a roll. And like, no Chick-fil-A sauce? It's like, it's too much. It's too much.
I agree. I would react like that if you didn't want Chick-fil-A. It's the best sauce.
That's fair enough. It is the best sauce. It is something that it's like a staple of our
It's a staple in this
luggage
household.
when we come back.
Yes.
But just full disclosure, the way Anna eats sauce is like a worrying problem because when you eat fries, you dip your fry in sauce to have both tastes. I have never seen someone do as small of a dip as Anna, where she's just grabbing her fry and she's like, "That's
Oh,
enough."
really?
And she uses
You did like an animal.
she
it's different.
uses so little sauce that she's just like, and then like you could hear a little ding. And she's like,
I would-
she dips.
I will get a mental breakdown from seeing that. Like, I need to, you know,
I know.
dip it
You just-
completely.
I use my fry like a spoon. I just go like,
Yeah.
No, I cannot. I need to have my sauce needs to be organized in the plate, and it cannot be like an animal with holes.
which is
and it
why
has to be spread properly.
we have a prenup for sauces. You have your share and I have mine.
Fair enough.
We cannot share a container of sauce. That's not possible because the way she looks at me do it, she's like, "You're an animal. You just ate everything." And the way I look at her, I feel bad for grabbing as much sauce. So we're both extremely unhappy. So it's like you have to make you have to make sacrifices. I have to
You have
pour
to choose.
half a container in my plate and just boop in hers.
Capitalism or rabies? You choose.
Yeah, capitalism or rabies.
I feel like that's gonna be the name of this episode.
Yeah, yeah. That's the summary, like the internet summary. Like you can summarize the
Capitalism.
internet in or rabies
Legit capitalism, rabies, or Chick-fil-A
Or
sauce.
Chick-fil-A.
or Chick-fil-A. Yeah, yeah.
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Or Chick-fil-A.
No Chick-fil-A sauce.
Okay, you wanna watch?
Do you want to watch the video?
Yeah,
or-
yeah, we
Yeah,
should watch
yeah,
it.
Yeah. Okay. Let me know when you
We have it ready.
Are
We
going-
have it ready.
For your drink? Yeah. A lemonade, please. A lemonade, all right. And then can I also have barbecue sauce, or do you have like a buffalo sauce? No Chick-fil-A sauce? No Chick-fil-A sauce. So you want a barbecue sauce? Yes. And then you want 2 Chick-fil-A sauce? No.
It's always the U.S. like that.
It's
That's
always
why I
the
brought
US.
that video up. Like it's always the U.S.
It's
for
always
some
the
reason.
US.
Have you seen people
But-
fighting at Waffle House?
I haven't. No.
That's like,
No,
there's a dude that comes in Waffle House and films, and there's the two waitresses genuinely throwing hands. Like someone is like grabbing her hand and like slamming against the grill.
Oh yeah, I watched that. Like what happened?
And he's like, "Can I please get a waffle?" And they're like slamming each other against.
Can I get a waffle? Can I please get a waffle?
Can I please get a waffle?
Boom.
Against the thing.
The restaurant system in the US is so fucked
It's
up.
insane. It's
When we
insane.
went the first time, I was shocked to see that they have so much trouble hiring people, because every restaurant that we went to, was it Denny's or was it IHOP? That we went and we could not get served because there were not enough servers.
IHOP. It was
IHOP. We wanted pancakes, so we went to an IHOP, and the big sign at the front, hiring, we're hiring, plus the wage like for the hourly pay, and we come in and I swear to God, it looked like an ER waiting room, because they had a waiting room before the restaurant where people would sit down, and then they would be like, yeah, it's gonna take at least a good an hour and a half, I think,
Like,
to serve.
Yeah, just to sit down. Right?
Just to sit down, and we were like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. It's like 10 in the morning. By the time you're done, it's gonna be time for lunch. We're not doing this. And so we had to leave. And then, because roads in the US are like big, almost like big highways with a bunch of commercial areas with like a bunch of restaurants, and I saw, I don't know, Wendy's, Chili's, IHOP, Denny's, McDonald's, all those restaurants, and all of them were hiring signs at the front. And I know that post-COVID it was really complicated for restaurants to hire because the conditions are not attractive. But like, you gotta do something about that system. You cannot let it run like this. I learned even yesterday that apparently McDonald's in California are upping their prices because they upped the minimum wage from $16 to $20 an hour. And because of the way it's made with franchises, if someone owns a restaurant, they make on average $150K of profit a year. And if they up the cost of labor from 16 to 20 an hour, then suddenly they do 150K of loss. It reverses the thing. And I'm like, how is it possible that McDonald's gets so much money but the franchise owner is not? Like, upping minimum wage should not mean upping the minimum price of an item, because everything got up in price. Then shouldn't the mother company cut their losses a little bit and keep everyone happy? Like, capitalism once again.
Yeah. Or rabies.
Or rabies.
In this case, rabies.
In this case, rabies.
Rabies.
I would choose rabies. I know you die from it. I think it's a better way to go.
No, but we were talking about it the other day. Like, we went to McDonald's because we went to the movies, and then we went to McDonald's that was right outside, and we ordered like, I don't know, 2 menus, some nuggets, and it was like $30, and we were like,
Yeah.
and it was not the deluxe menus, the ones that are fancy.
Normal menus, and on top of that, the nuggets were like, it was a sale thing. So it
on
was
top
cheaper.
of that, the nuggets were on like on an offer.
I think we ended up paying like $33 for like 2 menus plus nuggets, and we were just like, yeah, McDonald's really fell down in grace, because it used to be the cheap
option, yeah.
The cheap option. You didn't want to go to a restaurant, you didn't have much means, you would go to the drive-thru, get McDonald's, and then go back. And right now, genuinely, I think dining in at a restaurant is the same price as going to McDonald's.
Low-key the same as McDonald's, yeah.
Like, not high-end restaurants, but like normal ones. Like, you would go to Chili's and you would pay probably less than McDonald's,
I mean,
because they have the combo like for $10.
Yeah, like the frame of reference that I have is in my country. I don't know if it's raised in value, maybe, but I do remember that every time I went to Chili's, I could bring a $20 like a freaking bill, and granted, I was not gonna have entry, main dish, or whatever, but I could have my main dish with my drink, no problem, at Chili's. And then freaking McDonald's, like, dude, like, I'm not gonna sit in the whack, thing here when I can go to this place.
With the reusable dishes, like, McDonald's
because-
is really like, there's a law right now in France that imposes them if you stay in to give you no cardboard. So it's like plastic glasses, plastic like rubber containers for the fries and everything. It's so disgusting. I know someone that used to work at Burger King, and she told me that they have so little time to clean everything that nothing is cleaned properly. So basically, you don't want to eat there. That's the main takeaway. And they refuse to give you straws because apparently it kills the turtles. So
Meanwhile, Taylor Swift is killing the entire world.
Yeah. Can I get an extra packet of, ketchup or something? And they're like, no, that'll be 50 cents or something. And I remember way back in the day, you could just get them, and I have even seen memes now. They cause all these, fight. They will fight you over like a packet of salt, I think,
I
or something.
swear, literally, the waiter told no to Anna's face when she was asking for a straw, because the glasses were gross. They were like marks on them. We didn't want to put our lips on there. So it's like, can you give me a straw, please, so I can drink from the glass? No, it's only reserved for takeout. And it's like, but you have them. I'm not asking you for 10 straws. I'm asking you for one because your glass is disgusting. So it's like, give me one. And they were like, no, it's not possible. And I understand that it's not the worker's fault. He doesn't make the rules, but like, yeah, it's a bother. It's a bother, specifically if you don't feel
I'm like,
safe.
you know
glass.
what the solution would be? Don't host the Olympics, so I can freaking use my straw here, and I don't have to deal with this nonsense. Like,
Capitalism or rabies.
Capitalism or rabies, bro. Like, that's
No,
That's the
you know what's
ultimate
the worst
choice.
part? You know what's the worst part? The freaking the people who are gonna get rabies is the freaking athletes,
The swimmers.
the swimmers, because apparently the freaking Macron wants to make them swim in the Seine, the river in Paris. And I'm like, that's like fucking like swimming in the middle of the Rio Guayas. It's like you would have a third leg by the end of that thing. It's like,
It's
why
true.
would you do that?
It's true, and people were clowning the president, telling him, "Yeah, you go swim first. Like,
Yeah,
do the
legit.
first lap. Show us." And he was like, "Yeah, I have no problem doing it."
Do it.
Basically, all the structures that were supposed to be made in Paris for the Olympics, none of them are done. There's been like floodings. There's been defaults in construction.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Billy. That hurt.
And there's been like delays. Nothing is ready. It's costing billions and billions. And because here where we live, we also have a different like river. And I had a friend when I was 18 that jumped in there with her friends because they were stupid teenagers. So they wanted to like whatever. They just jump in the water, which is extremely dangerous because there's current and you can literally die. But they jumped and then they went back, and all of them got an extremely bad lung infection and like the flu because that water is polluted. It's full of shit. 100% there's dead bodies in there. There is. It's just they found dead bodies before, and it's like,
Oh, really?
yeah, because of course if you have a big river with current, if you want to get rid of a body, I assume that you throw it
Yeah.
in there. And
Yeah.
it's in the Seine. They found a dead orca in there that was
Yeah, the
stuck
orca
for a
freaking
while.
died. Like, I'm like,
It's like you don't want to
Probably-
swim in that.
Probably that orca snuck into a house, and then pest control was like, kill it. Go ahead.
so
kill it.
that's-
Kill it and throw it to the river right now.
Show me how you murder.
I wanna see blood. Like.
Then he grabs you. He does like Simba on your forehead. He's just like putting blood of the
It's
bat.
like, you
and it's
did
like now you've had your baptism. You're born again. And you're just like left alone in your house with a blood stain and $700 away from your account.
Yeah. Now walk to the river and ditch it. Like, Oh my god.
Jesus
The Olympics are supposed to start
July.
July, right? Mid-year.
you know what? We saw a video on TikTok that because Paris is getting ready for hosting the Olympics.
Are they?
Like instead, like in the metros are the Paris metros are like the worst. Like here, it's ratchet depending on where you are. Some are cute, some are not. But Paris, they're ratchet all over the place. I hate the metros in Paris. They're super dirty. They're like a labyrinth. And there was a video of this guy, instead of changing the metal inside the
Right. The rusty metal.
instead of changing the rusty metal in inside
station.
the station, he was spray painting it white so it looks new, but the rust and the dirt's still there.
And there's literally a station that is flooded right now. And on top of that, the city hall in Paris decided to up the price of every ticket during the Olympic. Because one ticket, bear in mind, here costs around $2. And that gives you access to the entire network within an hour. So you can go back and forth, back and forth. Back in the day, it wasn't the case. You would pay your ticket $150 and you could go only one way. If you tried to use it the other way, even if you made a mistake, let's say you took the wrong bus and you wanted to go back, you had to buy another ticket. And to go back again, you would either use the first one if you were still within the hour, or buy another one. Right now, you can go both ways within the hour, but I think the ticket doubled for the Olympic. I think it's like $4 for one single ticket.
Oh wow!
Because they want to put money in their pockets. It's like governments, always greedy ass governments. Capitalism.
Government. Capitalism.
Give me rabies instead.
But he chose rabies for the athletes.
I mean, for the athletes,
not
yeah.
for himself.
Rabies for the athletes.
You get rabies, I get capitalism.
Yeah, I'm fine.
They ask you the question like capitalism or rabies, but there's really no choice.
No choice, you get rabies.
You know, either
Rabies,
way,
no matter what.
you know.
It's like I get money, you get death. What
Yeah.
is that a
You
good deal
choose.
for you?
You choose.
And they make you kill like innocent animals on top of that. It's like it's not fair at all.
Oh, you
But
didn't
yeah.
hear? That's the new Olympic competition. It's like killing animals. There's like
killing orcas.
the 100 meter run, then there's the triple jump, and in the middle you have to kill bats. Like you didn't know?
I didn't. Yeah, I'm
This
looking
is-
forward to that.
It's all new, 2024 Paris.
And you'll compete. That's why you had the gloves. You were competing. Like they throw bats as baseballs. Like boom.
It was my training. I was like,
You threw it all the way to the river, Marvin. Like from your house.
legit.
You were aiming for the river. And Macron was swimming, and he was like, boom, boom, like that. Bat.
Speaking of which, the president of France recently posted pictures of himself doing boxing. I showed them to you.
Oh my god.
I'll put them up on the screen.
I cannot wait
But
to see.
he was like punching like a sandbag, and the problem is that people were clowning him once again because he photoshopped his arms to look more buff than they are. So he had like huge biceps, and everyone knows the way the president looks. We know that he doesn't have huge biceps, and he was like pictures in black and white to portray himself as like this fighter, whatever. And because French people, just like every other people, they have no respect, so they go on the internet and they're just like, oh look, Emmanuel Macron has photoshopped his biceps on official government pictures.
Official. Those were
Yeah.
official government pictures. Bro, the disrespect to the people. Like,
Yeah,
wow.
it's like, why would you Photoshop your arms? We all know that you're not buff. Like, it's fine. We don't care. We don't want a buff president. We just want someone that's not gonna kill us, you know? Like,
yeah.
please. But you
We're
know,
not orcas. Like,
we're not
we don't want to
orcas.
get killed.
That's the
Yeah.
message of the day. Miguel 2024. We are not orcas.
We are not orcas. Capitalism or rabies. But
Or Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A
or
sauce.
or Chick-filasauce or a prenup. Like you
or
choose.
prenup. You
Or a
decide.
prenup.
You cannot
You
have it
decide.
all.
I did want to bring up this story because like it's going back to the like servers and restaurants and whatnot. I did want to get your opinion because maybe I
Have you ever had a dream that you had?
maybe that sorry, maybe that question, like having asked that question, because the story is about a question that I asked, maybe having asked that question would put me somewhere on the spectrum. You know.
Maybe you being you would put you on the spectrum.
At this point, we're past the spectrum.
Maybe, and you know, everyone was so like confused by that question, but for me it seems so natural. But I will be honest. I asked that question in a restaurant like about 2 weeks ago.
Did you ask the
And
waiter
I guess
no Chick-fil-A sauce?
no. So this is the story.
Okay.
I went out with some, friends like a couple of weeks ago, and we went to this place where you can like play like board games and have food. And after that, like close by, there was this place. Like they wanted to get like dessert from this place. It's a Japanese place. Basically like sort of a restaurant. And when you go in, like it has like a lot of Japanese like decorations, right? Including a lot of anime decorations. Like you could see Pokemon, I think even Naruto like posters, and well, like other animes as well. So my friends were looking like there's a curfew here, so I think it was closed. That place was about to close, and my friends were just looking to buy something like for takeout, right, and then leave the place. So I knew I didn't want to like order anything. I just went in to see how the place was, and the waitresses. Is that right? Did I say that right? Waitresses?
Yeah.
Because it's the waitresses were like dressed in like costumes, some sort of anime costume. I wouldn't be able to identify which anime specifically, but they were dressed in costumes. So me looking at everything in that place, I guess it was kind of a joke, but I just wanted to ask.
I'm bracing myself for the worst.
I'm waiting.
I'm waiting. I'm fully expecting
waiting.
Miguel to pull out. What did you think of the ethical debate between Naruto and Sasuke at the end of the show? And the waitress was like, "What do you want to eat?"
No. Actually, it was a kind of a dumb question. I kind of just looked at everything and then asked, like the waitress that was close to me, like she was like talking to me. I stopped for a moment and asked, "Hey, do you need to be an otaku to come in here?"
Yeah, that's amazing. Am I dreaming?
And get something and buy something. And she she just laughed and told me, "Oh no," like ha ha ha. But then there was like another waitress like way at the back that heard the question, and she was like, she gave me like a death stare. Like the one that I asked the question to like laughed, and she was like, no, you can just order whatever you want. And then the other one gave me the death stare, and then my friend was like, "Bro, how could you ask that? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, that is the most uncomfortable question that I have heard in my life." Like, and then
Miguel showing up places, being like, "Do you need to be a loser to order
Do
here?
you need to be a weeb to
Yeah,
be here?"
because the first waitress probably took it the right way, but the second one, she probably thought that Miguel was condescending, being like, "Do you need to be an absolute loser to eat here?" And the girl was like,
I was actually like hyped up, like, "Oh, do you need to be an otaku to like buy from here?"
"You said it in a good way, like it came from a good place, right?"
Exactly. It was like, I didn't be specifically because it was not only Japanese. It had like this big component and decorations about anime. So the other one gave me the death stare, and she was like, "No, you don't need to be an otaku." And and we're about to close. We're close. We're closing in like 5 minutes. So if you're going to order something, if you're going to buy something, buy it right now. So my friends were like, "Oh my gosh, should I still buy something?" So at the end, they buy something, and then we go outside to this like, they had like tables outside. So we go outside, and my friend tells our other friends what I did, and everyone is like laughing so hard and just saying, "Bro, like something is wrong with you." Like probably those girls get made fun of like a lot, and then they're about to they're about to close and you ask them that question, and I'm like, but wait, the one I asked the question to was like fine. The other one just wanted to like hate, and like she wasn't even part of the conversation. And then we were like laughing so hard at this table outside and just waiting until they close, and literally like 3 minutes pass by and the other girl walks out, and she's like, I don't wanna like tell you guys to leave, but we are closing and I need to clean the tables, so please. And then we just like walk away, but basically everyone was like, oh bro, that's so misogynistic, and I'm like, bro,
misogynistic in what?
like you know, they said like probably people like also like try to hit on them or something, so that's misogynistic. I'm like, bro, how did we get like to that question to like misogyny or racism? And they were like talking about racism all of a sudden, and I'm like, am I losing my mind here? But then like after I clarified who I asked the question to, like they were, oh okay, because my friend that like actually was the witness, he did see who I asked the question to, he saw everything. And I'm like, that just made me think like, is there something wrong with me? Like
you had eyewitnesses to cover your story, because the other girl probably saw you being like pointing at her, being like, do you have to be a disgusting otaku like her to be here? Like that woman? Like I can only imagine them thinking that you asked it from like a disgusting place. But I know that what you said was just like, you were like excited. You were like, oh, do you need to be like a fan of manga to be here? Like, sure, is it the smartest question ever? Not necessarily. But I know what you were saying is like, is that a cafe for manga fans? That's what you were asking.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
We should start like this thread on Twitter, like, am I autistic or something? Like, with these stories.
Yes.
The answer, conclusion, yes. Like that's how I felt after that.
The Twitter community notes.
Yeah.
You would write, am I autistic? And it would be like, response from the community, yes.
Yes, please go to the psychologist.
That's how I felt. Like
this information is factually correct.
Based on worldwide consensus, you are. So it's like you don't even need to go to a psychiatrist.
No,
you're autistic. That's how I felt, and I was like, maybe I'll tell Marvin and Anna this story to see what they think. But yeah, sometimes like I kind of just zone out, and like I guess also like I asked the question with a zoned out face. It's not like, it's just like I'm in my own world, like looking at everything, and like, like, oh, do you need to be an otaku like to buy something from here? It's like, what's wrong with this guy? But yeah, that's basically
the worst thing. And I will join you on that. Once we were booking a hotel in the US and we were in Florida. We came into the front desk, and so we check in, we go to the room, and we realize that there's no soap in the room for the shower. So it's either we go to a store, we buy shower gels, like bar soap, shampoo, whatever we need, or we know that hotels usually have amenities. They have what you need to be able to shower. And because it was late at night, I was like, sure, I'm gonna go ask. So I asked the person, and I'm like, hi, I'm sorry. And I'm the kind of person that is like the opposite of a mom, so I'm not gonna impose. If anything, I'm like super self-conscious to ask anything to anyone. So I asked the dude, and I said, yeah, I'm sorry, do you have soap and shampoo for the room, because we don't have any? And dude was like, sure. Kinda dismissive. Went down the sort of bar that they had, the little office, grabs like two tiny ass bars of soap and puts them on the desk. And then he starts talking to his friend.
You checking in?
Yeah, I am.
What's your name?
It's Rebecca. Yeah.
And what's your last name?
It's
And I'm just like, I'm sorry, like, we also need shampoo. And the dude probably thought that I was the rudest person ever. And he looked at me, he was like, yeah, I heard you, it's coming. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
You're like a SpongeBob in the restaurant, like waiting for water, like again, like I'm gonna get some shampoo.
Can I be clean, please?
Please, I don't want to die. You know, there was a bat in my room. Like I need a shower.
Can I not be dirty, please? And it was like, no, you will. It's okay.
Do it now.
I'll
be
shower,
dirty.
I'll shower my thoughts.
But that also happened to me once. Like, I was tired that day, but the thing is that I was in class. I went to class, and
I remember.
How could you remember?
I remember the thing that you answered without thinking to the
teacher.
teacher.
So basically, like, we had class, and we were supposed to give back something. It was not the final thing, but we had to give back something to the teacher. And it was like the final, like the last class of the day. I was tired, so I sit down. I have my files with me, whatever. And the teacher calls my name, and he's like, "Oh, do you have the thing?" And I in my head, I answered, "Oh, no, I don't have it here. Is it okay if I go pick it up? Because I live on top of the school, right? So I could just go up and grab it." And he looked at me weird, like in a surprise kind of way. And then he was like, "Yeah, sure, you can like go grab it and just bring it to me." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And that was interaction for me. And end of the story, no problem. And the thing is that my friend who was sitting next to me told me that apparently the way it went, the way that it went was that the teacher talked to me. He, mind you, he was like the meanest teacher, right? He was the one that you could not like cross. And he talked to me. He was like, "Oh, do you have this thing?" And apparently the way I answered was like, "No, I don't have it. Can I go pick it up?" And the teacher looked at me like surprised, and he was like
dumbfounded.
And he was like, "Sure." And apparently I answered like, "Okay." And like,
"Oh, I'm sorry, are you sitting here?"
Yeah.
"Oh, don't worry, I'll leave."
Thanks.
You want me to stay?
No.
Je m'appelle Sasuke Uchiwa.
And in my mind,
mean girl vibe. Yeah.
And in my mind, the interaction was completely different. I was like super polite and like super nice, and I was like, "Oh my god, can I go pick it up after?" Like, and that's why I know there's some spectrum in my brain, because I'm like, the interactions that I have with people, I live in a different reality.
You were like, picturing yourself as this dainty little person being like, "Can I pick it up?" In reality, with the Arnold meme running around shirtless with the beanie.
Legit, like. And I was like, I live in a different reality. Like, I do not perceive the same things that people perceive.
Can I go pick it up, loser? You know, it's like that's how he heard it.
That's how everyone saw it.
And even him being the meanest teacher, he was like scared. Like
he was like,
yes. Like he was like, "Oh, that girl is gonna start throwing hands on me. Like I better like just say yes."
It's like all those memes about your country being like, "Yeah, walking down the dangerous street without them knowing that I'm the danger." But
for real, like, you know, in Ecuador you can get robbed, so you have to be careful and stuff. One time, I was walking with the same friend. We were walking around Leon, and there was like, we were in like, it was my first year here, so we did not exactly know where we were. Now I know where we were, but back then we were like kind of lost in the city. And we were going up the metro, and I feel as someone is pulling my phone out of my pocket, like someone was pickpocketing me. So I grabbed my phone, and I'm like, and I was like, I don't even know, I insulted the dude. I don't even remember what I told him in English, and I just grabbed my phone and I just fucking walked out the metro super mad with my friend. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how dare he? Like, and I'm
playing tricks that you already know.
Attenzione pickpocket! Attenzione borseggiatrici!
And I punched him in the face, and the dude was like unconscious.
She punched him in the face, and he had like a little bit of a mark like this.
You're so...
The impact of the face was like... It's like getting slapped by an empanada.
You have no respect. You have no respect.
Bro, it was the smallest circle you'll ever see. It was like
it was like getting shot by a BB gun. Getting stung
Anna, in her mind,
by a bee.
by a bee. In her mind, Anna had like literally, like knocked him out, and the guy just had like a, he just had like a little dot.
Now little hands, big hit. I'm pretty sure. Like we're all making fun. Like it's a little bit. She could have dropped him out. Like that dude. If Anna punched him in the face, the dude would have been like,
Don't move.
Yeah.
No, but I just took my phone, and then another time we were with Marvin, going out of a metro, and.
But wait. Just without a story, how did your friend react?
Oh, my friend, she was surprised because, the thing is that my friend is also from Latin America, so it was not shocking completely that this thing.
She was about to pull a gun or like a knife. Like, hey.
And she was like, and we just were like, we went away from those dudes and we went somewhere else. But the next time we were also going up from a metro with Marvin.
On an escalator,
and he was facing me, so the escalator was going up and he was like
back to the street,
yeah, and there was someone behind him, a dude. And the thing is that I'm very aware of my surroundings because I'm from Latin America. I have to, so I'm like constantly like knowing everything that's happening around me. It's like, Neji, the thing that he has where he sees...
yeah. Byakugan.
I activate that thing when I'm outside and I'm like, okay, I need to know exactly what's happening everywhere.
I'm sorry, do you have to be an otaku to be a part of this conversation?
Do you have to be an otaku to have Byakugan?
Literally, like I activated my freaking Byakugan.
You really did. Your hand went like...
That's the thing. Marvin was like talking to me and I knew that his phone was in his pocket. I saw that man's hand like move towards the thing and I just slapped the man's hand, and Marvin is like, what the fuck was happening? And then the man got super mad. He called me racist.
Yeah.
He called me, I don't even know because he was talking in French, so I don't even know what he told me. And I was just, I refused to look at the man and I was like, no. And he was like, yeah, you think that I'm gonna rob you and stuff. And I didn't answer, but I'm like, yeah, I saw you. And Marvin was like, no, maybe he wasn't gonna rob me. No, he was.
No. I told you that the man was suspicious because he acted weird and he got mad immediately.
The thing is that, in the escalator, usually you're not super close to people unless the escalator is full. In this case, it was not full. And this guy was like this with Marvin.
Yeah, it was extremely suspicious, and I told her there is a chance that he might have not done anything because I don't think that he was a robber. Because he was like an old man.
No, he was not that old.
He was like 40 something. It's not old, but he was like 45.
Oh, that's not that's not old. Come on.
He was not like the usual profile of a pickpocketer,
Yeah, he was not like...
Usually they're younger.
A teenager, yeah, whatever. He was
he was
generally those people exploit that they don't look like a pickpocket.
It's true.
Pickpocketer. Yeah,
but in this case, he was a middle-aged man, and I didn't see him, so thank God that Anna was here and slapped his hand. But I was like, I was kind of in disbelief because I was like, maybe there's a chance he wasn't gonna do anything, but better be safe than sorry. And honestly, she was more aware than I was. So since then, I'm extra careful with everything. Usually I am because I have my hands in my pocket, or all my belongings are like close to me, close pockets, like anything. My backpack is never behind me. It's always at my feet. Like I always make sure. But this case we were talking, I didn't check, and there was something sus happening, so yeah, thank God she was here.
Because the guy, he said, yeah, I was just gonna tie my shoe, and I'm like, so the guy basically turned around like this to tie it, and I'm like, yeah, sure, you were gonna tie your shoe.
No way, you're exaggerating. The dude was not contorting himself in the escalator.
Like, his shoe was not on your ass.
My shoe?
No, his shoe was not on your ass. I'm sorry.
He bent over like the Matrix in the Matrix movie. Like I'm going to tie my shoe.
Wait, let me just turn on the light.
Let me
like legit, and I saw that, and I was like, bro.
Yeah, like. Bro, and why did she? why did he call you a racist? Like, people just use that word like out of nowhere these days. Like, oh, you're a racist.
Because
the dude was Middle Eastern.
Yeah, the dude was not white. So immediately, what do you do when you're in that situation? It's like, oh, you're racist, and like trying to deflect what's happening. And I don't know how to speak French, but I'm like, bro, I'm not white either. Like,
yeah, he pulled out the racist card and he got extremely mad really quickly, and it was extremely suspicious. It's true, like he didn't act like someone.
Immediately he got super mad.
Because if you're a normal person and you get your hand slapped, sure, you don't understand. But if the person next to, because I talked to him and I was like, no, like let's like cut it right now. But basically, if you understand that the person thought you were gonna rob them, usually you would say sorry. You'd be like, no, I would like. But if you get really mad really quick, usually it means that you have something to be blamed for.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, yeah.
It was mad suspicious. I was like, nah.
And also, like, so he was trying to. Where did you have your phone?
In my pocket.
Back pocket?
No,
back pocket or
normal
front?
pocket, side pocket.
Normal pocket.
And
so even, go ahead.
He was basically behind me, so I was back to him. So he was. Because actually, no, I was not over you. I was under you. You were like, yeah, because he was behind me.
Yes, but no, I know because that's how I saw him. I was underneath. You were in the next step, and he was in the next one. I remember specifically because I remember the view. We were going up.
Because I remember
and
him
you were
being
looking
behind
at
me.
Yes, and you were looking at me.
No, behind me, and
yeah,
you were in front
you.
of me.
Yes, but I was in the step below you.
Yeah, but how can you be in front of me if you know what
because
I mean? I thought you
up.
were one step in front of me and I was behind.
No.
Well, either way, he was behind me, and his hand moved a little close to my hip, so that was the thing that set Anna off, where she was like, no.
It was so strange.
That's extremely sketchy. Like if my hand is close to someone else's jeans, like that's just weird. You know, like that's not normal. Like, and I'm in those like elevators, like, you know, electrical elevators, like stairs. What are they called? Escalators. Like, I'm super self-conscious. Like everyone is. I feel you just don't allow yourself to be like touching people's jeans like randomly, right? So it's like,
I think that he was not
suspicious.
touching me. I think he moved his hips like this, and his hand kind of rotated and was like, if my pocket was here, his hand was here. And I do feel like something weird was happening.
I saw a hand going close to Marvin, and I was like, absolutely not.
Can we really stop and appreciate like Marvin's explanation of why that guy wasn't trying to like rob him? He's like literally looking like a transformer trying to explain why the guy was rotating.
You guys are so,
and he was trying.
You were trying so hard.
You guys are so unbearable. The dude, just imagine yourself,
bro. Like you literally were trying.
Just imagine yourself like, turning around. If you turn around, your hip moves.
Like,
no, Miguel is like contorting himself.
the guy was like this, and you were like, no, he wasn't trying to rob me.
Bro, literally, I'm like, it's not, bro. You were like, I don't know what. Like, I for a moment, you know, couldn't identify you. You were like, you know, the guy was like.
No, that's Anna's doing, because the dude was behind me, and basically when you just, if I want to look at Anna, my body's gonna be like this, and that's what happened. He literally just moved like not even halfway across, and because he had his hand along his body, his hands moved, but he did not reach like this. Like, that's a lie.
That's exactly what I saw.
That's what you saw, because you're crazy.
No, I'm not crazy, because that's the thing. The dude was really close to you.
He was.
And he was not, his back was not to you. He was like this the whole time.
No. I had my back to him.
Yeah. So suddenly I see him like reaching, and I'm like,
Because I didn't see, because I saw his position once you like slapped his hand. I looked.
Yeah.
And he was not like reaching like that, but basically
no, it was
he turned and his hand was close to my pocket, so that was weird. It was extremely
Marvin,
suspicious.
Have you been pickpocketed before?
Never.
Okay, that's why you're giving this explanation.
No,
because
no,
the
because,
number one rule is you never reach over.
Of
you
course
never.
Not, but what I'm saying is that his hand was not that close to my pocket. Like, genuinely no, because I saw her slapping his hand, and I could tell from the distance that it was fine, because I had a lot of friends that were pickpocketed. pickpocketing is a big problem in France right now.
It is.
From backpacks, from pockets, from jackets, from everything. So
will it be a new competition in the Olympics?
It could
too?
be. It could be.
It should be, honest, at this point.
Who's
it
the
could
quickest pickpocket?
It could be.
Anna would win if she will be the pickpocketers
like the
Punisher
person
or something.
that is like that stops. It's like they have to pickpocket in front of me.
And you'll be
and
like,
they have to
yeah.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that the dude was acting suspicious. I think there was a 60-40 chances that he was doing something to me, but I'm not sure. Because I didn't see him fully. Anna saw him better and I trust her. That's why I told her. I'm like, if you saw something, you stopped it, and I trust you that he was trying to do something.
That's the thing.
But from my perspective,
I would rather the dude was.
Yeah, that he was not doing anything and you stopped it.
And
rather,
I stopped nothing, but just in case I stopped.
No,
I stopped something.
You were completely right to do it, but I'm not like innocent enough to think that the dude was innocent. He was super suspicious from the way he responded, from the way he behaved. You're like, you would not be mad like this if you were not doing anything. So yeah, obviously. But all that I saw from the little vision that I had was that the dude was turning around, and because he had like his arms along of his body, the distance between his hand and my pocket was really close. So there was a chance that he was pickpocketing me. I cannot know for sure. I cannot tell you.
I don't care what color this man was.
Yeah, of course. It has nothing to do with anything.
I didn't notice anything. I just saw a hand and I was like, no. And the person who first tried to pickpocket me were like random white teenagers. They were like random teenagers that tried to pickpocket me.
It has nothing to do with it. It's just...
So I don't give a shit. I'm just like, do not rub my freaking, or you do not rub anyone. That's like my main goal.
Because I know it happens fast. Of course, if you pickpocket someone, you're not gonna be like, wait, let me just grab your pocket right here. No, it's like super like
he
subtle.
was super slight. That's why he was not being obvious. He was like really sliding slowly his hand, and I was like,
But in this case, I was also extremely distracted because we were talking, and for once I wasn't paying attention because we were coming out. So it didn't cross my mind. For once, I was like, kind of in the air, zoning out, and thank God she was there.
And also the context, like you were in the station, like
outside. We were literally leaving the subway station.
Actually, like the two times that I almost got pickpocketed and he almost got pickpocketed was in the escalator. I feel like that's the most dangerous because you're going up. Your pockets are low key, like anyone can reach and grab. So it's like honestly, that's the one that you need to take care of, like the escalator for real.
That's what I'm thinking, like because of the place you were in, like it's extremely suspicious, but who knows, at least like you still kept your
at least
your
stuff.
Your honor.
I got saved my honor and my phone.
Bro, those hands, like they have, she's like, what's the name of the guy in Naruto that had like the whole arm of Sharingan? Like,
that disgusting dude, like
Danzo.
Yeah.
Anna is low-key like Danzo. She has like Sharingan in her hand too, like, you know, just slapping all the pickpocketers.
But there's only room for like one eye.
You're so...
That other guy also got stung by a bee. Like, poor him.
She was
poor
like,
him.
And the dude had like a red dot. And he was like, you know, the red dot.
And I was like, I'm gonna open my hand and slap him. Boom. And it's like, you know, just like a little sting, you know.
But you know where I got this from my dad, because one day we were in the car and there was my dad, my mom, me, and a friend. And out of nowhere, in the middle of like, you know, when you're in a bridge and you use like a little loop to go down the bridge. So we were in the middle of the loop, and randomly a dude with a gun starts like pointing at us in front of the car. And me, my mom didn't panic fully, but me and my friend were like, oh my friend told me, we're gonna die here. And I was like, I didn't think about dying. I was like, I hid my phone under my thigh because I'm like, no, they're not taking my phone. And my dad, he was calm and collected. And the dude with the gun, and then another dude was like banging on his door, and he's like, yeah, give us your phones. And he's like, what phones? And he's like, yeah, give us your phones, whatever. And my dad is like, what phones? And then they just ran away. And then I don't know if my dad came out of, no, someone else came out of the car, because the thing is that we were stopped in the middle of traffic, so whatever. and someone else came, and apparently it was a toy gun. So this my dad, apparently he realized that these were young people that did not have the delinquent like vibe. These were probably like drug addicts or something, and
They were bluffing.
But I'm like, if I see someone pointing at me with a gun in front of me, I could not make that analysis of like the situation. But the thing is that my dad, because he's been in the military and everything, he's actually really calm in situations of danger. Like, it's not the first time that things happen. And my dad, like, we've been like followed by cars. My dad would like Toretto his way out of it. Like, he would like do many like, for real. So he has those instincts. So that's that. I got that from
Your dad sees that he's being followed. He puts the nuts and he's like,
for real.
You have those genes. You're
I got
That's
the
right.
genes from there, from
you
my
got the
dad.
crazy genes.
Probably you are a Hyuga after all. Like, you are. You did inherit the
I got the
Byakugan.
You're calm and collected, but locked up in the bedroom when there's a bat in the kitchen.
The thing is that the bat, I would have gone out if you needed my help, but if you told me cockroach, I was gonna stay locked.
You would have come out if I asked you, like, with the bat, you would have treated with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bat, rat, I can come out. Bug, no.
Rat is. Oh, speaking of rats, but I remember in Canada I rented this apartment. It was a bachelor apartment, so it was everything like a studio apartment. Everything was like one, what do you call it? Yeah.
Like a studio?
Like a studio. Only one
bedroom.
Like you had your kitchen and everything in one place.
Studio.
Everything was in one place. Yeah.
Okay, so a studio
I don't
apartment.
know how to call. Yeah, it didn't have like separations like for bedrooms and whatever. You put your bed like by the kitchen. Like, everything was in one place. So I remember one time I was sleeping, and I like sometimes, maybe I will throw this out there too, sometimes I don't trust when I wake up, because I have had experiences with like a sleep paralysis, and that's very weird, especially when you're waking up, because you can kind of have hallucinations, and you cannot distinct between what is real and what isn't. So at that point, like, this hasn't happened like in years. It really happened more when I was like a late teenager and then early 20s. But from time to time, if I speak about, that's what's weird, if I speak about it too much, it'll happen again. So anyways, I like was waking up and I see by the fridge, like a small like rat, and I'm like, bro, like, is this real? Like, am I hallucinating? Like, that's one of the worst things that can happen to me, just like pests coming into my place. So I just freaked out. Like, I moved everything, and it's a studio apartment, so it should be relatively easy to spot it, right? I moved everything and I couldn't find that rat. So I said maybe it was just a dream, like it wasn't like real. And then like a week passes by and I'm waking up again and I see another rat. Wait, there's rat are, when I say rat, I think it's like the big ones.
Yeah, it's
right?
the big ones.
If it's the smaller ones, it's like mice.
It could be.
I guess.
It could be either, but yeah, usually mice are smaller.
Yeah, well, I guess it would be kind of like a mouse. It wasn't like New York size.
Yeah. Live your best life.
Rat. Okay, that those things are like horrible. But anyway, so I'm waking up. I look by like the couch, and there's again like a mouse, middle-sized mouse, and I'm like, no way, bro. I wake up, move everything, and I think by that time I didn't take it that seriously, because I just thought I was like having a nightmare or something. Well, thing is, I later moved everything, and like couple of weeks pass by, and I see one like while I'm awake, and at that point I like contact the building manager. Yeah, no, the building manager, and I say, hey, I'm having these issues with rodents. There's like mice coming into my studio. I need this fixed. And a dude came in. They found this like small hole through the heating, like the heating pipes.
Okay.
Yeah, like because there would be pipes coming out of like basically the walls.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And yeah, what the rats or the mice would do is like by like surrounding the tube, they would like, because it's not cement, it's actually like what's it called? It's like cardboard kind of. I don't know, it's not like cement. I don't know what you call it.
Super
it's like,
fragile. You can like scratch it and like break it.
Like gypsum. I don't know what it is, but it's like, yeah, it's not as hard. So they would enter through those like holes. And the guy came in and he's like, oh, he like tried to close those holes, and then I found another one by the kitchen, and he's like, oh, I cannot get in there. That's like too, because it was a weird, there was like a aperture, like I don't know what to call it, like a space between the wall and then the kitchen, I don't know, like the stands, if that makes sense. And then you had to like literally enter your arm, like put your arm in this hole to actually reach that other hole and like close it. So the guy was like, oh, I'm not doing that. So I had to develop a way myself to close that. And what I used was like, when you buy something like a laptop or something, it would have this white thing to cover it. What's that called?
I think it's foam. I think it's
foam. Yeah.
This
it's foam.
Plastic foam, yeah.
Yeah, basically I used foam, like I cut up like foam that I had and just like close that up. But they would never take responsibility like for that. And that's basically my whole point with, pest control and living in an apartment. It's like, oh, like I cannot touch it, like that's too dangerous for me, or they'll make up an excuse. But yeah, that's the story about the rat. And
I just want to say something about your story, is that it's really funny because there's always a moment when you see a weird bug or an animal in your house where the moment you stop seeing it, you try to convince yourself that it was like a hallucination, because you see it, then you don't see it, and you're like, oh, maybe, I don't know, something moved in my peripheral vision, maybe it's like, maybe I'm just crazy, then maybe a reflection, maybe something, and then you're like, and then you see it again.
You know what happened to me?
Yeah.
No.
I was back home in Ecuador, and I was like in my room watching TV, whatever. And then I was watching TV, and then I heard a cricket. But then I paused what I was watching, and I didn't hear anything. And I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't the show.
Yeah,
like,
makes sense.
So I keep playing. Then I hear the cricket again, and I pause again, and I don't hear it, and I rewind
to make sure, yeah.
And so I play, and I hear the cricket again, and I was like, oh, okay, so it wasn't the show, so whatever. Then I stopped the show randomly, and I heard the cricket, and I was like, that cricket, I don't know how, and I'm not even kidding, every time that I rewinded and I played, it would do the little cricket sound every time at the same time. I would not know if it was the show or the cricket until I caught it off guard, that I paused the thing and I heard the cricket, and I was like, there's a fucking cricket in my room.
And the problem that crickets, the closer you hear them, the further they are. So
yeah,
really
and it wasn't like
them.
in my room, so I was like, I had no idea where it was, and I just approached a little bit of the TV, and it was like closer to the TV. So I told my mom, because my mom, she loves grabbing crickets, like she's not afraid, so she just grabs them and puts them away. So I told my mom.
Does she throw you away, like throw them away like a bat,
No.
like Marvin?
No.
Boom!
No, she doesn't do that.
She picks up a bunch of them, then like rolls
Makes
them
a
up
ball
in
and so
like a
like-
ball, and then boom!
With the leg up and everything, you know, you hold yourself up.
Yeah.
You have to put
Professional
the technique.
professional bat throwing.
Literally a baseball bat.
But yeah,
Sorry,
that was,
Anna, you were saying.
No, yeah, but that was like the story was like super weird. I'm like, that freaking cricket that I thought I was hallucinating. I'm like, bro, there's a cricket in my room. I was like, I'm not tripping. Like there is something, and I kept rewinding and playing and rewinding and playing until finally I was like, yes, there's a cricket in my room. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. Like I was also like trying to convince myself I was hallucinating. I was like, wait, this is weird.
Because that's the issue with rodents. At first, they never let you see them because they're afraid.
Yeah.
But the more they are in your house, first of all, they reproduce at like such a rate that once you have an infestation, it's over. But at some point, they start being overconfident. Because at my dad's place, we had one mouse once, and my dad was like swearing there was a mouse, and we were all like, none of us has seen the mouse, it's not a mouse. We had a pet rabbit, and at night he would like hit the cage with his foot, the cage that was always open, but he would go in his cage and hit the plastic, and it would make like a huge noise. We'd be like, what's going on? Why is he being unbearable? Turns out he was scared of the mouse because it would run around at night, and the rabbit would go back in the cage and like try to warn us that there was something. And at some point we eat dinner, and I turn around and I see the mouse going from one door to another, like, and I'm like, something just moved. And my dad was like, I told you, I swear, there was a mouse in the house. We all thought he was crazy. Turns out not at all. It was like a tiny mouse, like this big, that was running around, and I had to kill it with like, because my brothers were in the living room on the couch being like, no, you know Tom and Jerry when the mom climbs on a bar stool, and it's like, no. My two brothers were like grown men in the living room being like, no, a mouse. So I grabbed the book and I just dropped it on the mouse, and that's how I finished.
How does it like a dead? I have never seen a dead mouse. How does it look?
It didn't look like much because the thing was splattered, like, unfortunately.
But is it like all bloody and like a mess, like a full on mess?
It was so small. Like I honestly felt extremely bad because, you know, like it's a pest, but it's still an animal, so you're like, yeah, it's not great. But yeah, it's like so small, and basically it gets smooshed into this like little red pile. It's kind of traumatic. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And then we had another one months later, and we used a glue trap, and that's the most cruel shit ever, and I don't ever want to use one again, because basically the mouse gets stuck on the glue thing and dies out slowly, so you're just like, oh
right.
Yeah, it's kind of awful. It's like just like when you use a rat trap and it like close.
Yeah,
it's not pretty. You don't want to see that.
No, of course not.
But they do learn like to avoid those traps.
Because
like,
they communicate
they
with
are
each
so
other.
smart.
Yeah, they're smart.
Yeah, they are so smart.
Apparently,
like, that's the thing.
What I learned from rats that I find insane is that just like raccoons, but rats do it more. When you put like a rat poison in the corner of your room, they will send one of them to try it, and if the rat dies, none of them goes there. It's like they send the stupid one, you know? They're like, yeah, go ahead, there's free food. And the rat's like, yeah. And then he's the thing. And he's like, the other rat's like, poison. I knew it. Wait. What was it that you told me the other day? And I was like, how do you know this person? And you said the B movie.
You asked me about Ray Liotta. And you told me, how do you know him? And I was like, in the B movie. Because that's where he appears.
We were watching something, and the actor Ray Liotta, the one that's from the what's the name of that stupid movie? The Goodfellas. He'd like big mafia movie. She was like, oh, that's Ray Liotta. And I'm like, but usually don't watch. She's never watched Scarface, The Godfather, Goodfellas. So I'm like, how do you know Ray Liotta? She looked at me, silence, and then she said, the B movie.
Mr. Liotta, first may I offer my belated congratulations on your Emmy win for a guest spot on ER in 2005.
He was in the B movie.
What do you mean, like Ray Liotta in the B movie? And she was like, yeah, he has his honey brand.
He did. He was in the B movie.
You cannot be like, oh, that guy is Al Pacino.
But then,
yeah, I know him from Toy Story.
but it's just
So what do
like
you mean?
it's just like Austin Butler. I wouldn't say, oh, I know him from Dune. I know him from Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure.
from Elvis and Austin.
Honestly, I haven't watched like most of the big, classic movies. I guess I don't know. I have watched the Godfather, but not all of them. But I have sometimes like watched a movie that I like, and then I recommend it to someone, and they're like, "Oh, that movie looks trash." And then for some reason, I'm not big on directors and actors and whatever.
That's
but
fine.
then they're like, oh, this director like directed this movie. Now I want to watch it. Not because you suggested the movie, but because, and I understand there's like,
But it makes
cloud
sense.
and
People like directors, people like certain types of movies, people like all sorts of shit, but you cannot be like, oh, I know that dude, he's Robert De Niro. Where did you see him? In Finding Nemo? Like that is not real.
Those are my references. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, anyways, hey Marvin, I think someone might be trying to reach your back pocket.
Wait, is there?
Can you check? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna like tie my shoe, alright?
I'll be right back.